first days after launch, we were getting like a sale every single minute. We were just getting sale, sale, sale. And we did like $350,000 of gross sales in 2 months.
This is Nathaniel. He built an AI app with these guys and turned a $20 per month side project into a 6-figure business.
We would get emails, teary-eyed emails, like, oh my God, I was never able to express myself before this. I got the job.
The impact of their work was clear, but their success wasn't straightforward.
I was actually living in a van. I think it was 2 months where we could have had customers and we didn't have any paying customers. And then I remember we got this first paying customer. And I have no idea how this guy, it must have been Reddit. And he paid. I was like, oh my God, I have $20 on the internet. This is incredible. 20, in fact, I think actually it was $10. And then immediately I was like, all right, well, how am I gonna make a living off of this?
Fast forward to today, and their platform lets anyone create and monetize AI tools without writing a single line of code.
Growth is a difficult thing, especially when you haven't exactly found product market fit, but it's something that if you keep pushing at it, you can do. One thing that really helps with growth and has helped us is we basically more than 5x'd our customer base of usership. I think now we've had 4 customers turn investors, one of them being Travis Rosser, one of the founders of Kajabi.
In this episode, Nathaniel reveals the huge opportunity they see selling Pickaxes for AI, how he turned a side project into a 6-figure AI tool in just 2 months, and why he believes anyone can now build a tech business just using AI. Let's dive in.
We're at the Pickaxe HQ. Thank you for having us, Nathaniel. Tell us a little bit more about how you started this company and your background.
I'm Nathaniel, CEO of Pickaxe. We started this company about 1.5 years ago. We are just a bunch of creatives, and I was actually living in a van, and I met Ian and Mike, who are my 2 co-founders in that kind of creative independent filmmaking space. And Mike is an amazing prompt engineer. He's phenomenal. He's able to do stuff with AI that I didn't think was really possible. This must have been GPT-2 at the time. We built this thing called Untwitter, which is like Twitter, but with all bots. At the time, Elon was trying to get all the bots off of regular Twitter. And so we thought this would be the perfect place to actually bring all the bots together. And we realized people would want to build tools like this for themselves. And with this new technology, it was really easy. We kind of just started working together from there. And we posted the tools on Reddit. And as they started to get thousands of uses, the very first tool ever built on Pickaxe, this cover letter generator, put in information about yourself and it would just write you a cover letter for whatever the job was. And when we posted this thing, we would get emails, teary-eyed emails, like, oh my God, I was never able to express myself before this. This is like, I got the job because of your cover letter generator. And we were like, wow, just a little wrapper on this technology can be super valuable to people. We kind of grew it from there. And now we've got a lot more customers who are building and tools that we wouldn't have even have thought of. We posted it on Reddit and it got kind of thousands of impressions. And this was pretty early in the generative AI days still. And so people really hadn't seen anything like that. It was an exhilarating experience, but we knew that that was kind of like just a game. Whereas if we could help people to build their own tools, that would be a more real business that we could actually spend the rest of our many years working on.
Right. And so that real business is Pickaxe. I think you've gotten a lot of traction with different sales mediums. Like, can you talk about how Pickaxe is doing?
As I mentioned, when we first launched Pickaxe, it was a little ugly duckling and we just put it out there on Reddit. And my co-founder, Mike, he's kind of like a little Reddit genius. He's got like 20 different Reddit accounts that he plays against each other. And he posts with one and then with another one, he's like, oh yeah, good idea. And he's able to generate this Reddit hype. And so as a result of that, we got a lot of our first customers, maybe our first 200 customers from just Reddit. And then when people use the tools, there's this organic thing where they're like, oh, I want to be able to build that. But throughout that entire process, we are struggling to take control of our growth, which is something that investors like to see, but also as a company, when you're young, you like to see. When AppSumo reached out to us, originally we were like, no, this probably won't be such a good idea because we were afraid of the lifetime deal. But then we kind of realized that if we can just get in more people's hands and get people using the tool and enjoying using it. And so we decided to go forward with the AppSumo deal, which turned out to be a phenomenal idea, honestly. Certainly more than 2,000 people bought the deal and still have it. We basically more than 5x our customer base of usership. And it allowed us to develop the product a lot faster. A lot more people who cared about it were commenting and improving it. And so now we're trying to think the next big thing is how can we leverage all these users, make it so that their end users are going to come and become builders themselves, if that makes sense.
In simple terms, like what is a GPT and like what is the big opportunity here that you see?
When we talk about a GPT, we're talking about an AI tool built by somebody that can't code. People from all walks of life, especially people who never were able to code before and who maybe have some other area of expertise that wasn't really in the software or tech space, have a lot of knowledge. We can put that power in the hands of those people to get some of that knowledge into a tool that then can go and they can sell that tool as opposed to selling their time. The GPT is an interactive experience where an end user can talk about their problems and we can come up with a creative solution right on the spot. We think that this big opportunity with GPTs is this whole group of people that never had a scalable tech business before are going to be able to have a scalable tech business now. It's going to change, we think, the way that economy is shaped.
And what's the analogy you gave of like Amazon versus Shopify?
OpenAI's GPT store is kind of like a walled garden. They kind of own the branding. They control the pricing for you. They don't really give you access to the data that your tools generate. It's like Amazon because Amazon Basics becomes a huge threat to all Amazon sellers. If you have a lot of success, Amazon will actually go and steal your product and incorporate it into their kind of vertically integrated system. And we've already seen OpenAI do that, where some of the most popular GPTs, they've said, oh, you know what? ChatGPT should be able to do that. We're going to go ahead and make sure that ChatGPT can do that. And so for all of those reasons, we think of OpenAI's GPT store a little like Amazon, and we think of ourselves a lot more like Shopify. We help our customers own their end customers by owning the brand, owning the pricing. They own all the data that passes through, and they have a CRM where they can see it. We don't have a core chatbot that we're constantly trying to add features to, so there's no incentive to steal their ideas.
And what's like a rough breakdown in the growth of like GPT agents that you've seen?
Well, just in the first 2 months after OpenAI's launched the GPT store, they had more than 2 million tools built. The comparison with Shopify is really good, but these GPTs are growing way faster than Shopify grew. It took Shopify 15 years to get to 3 million stores. It took Apple more than 10 years to get to 3 million apps on the App Store. Apparently, it took the GPT store just 3 months to get to 3 million GPTs. So people are building these things like crazy, and we are just trying to help them, put them in a place where they're actually going to be more useful.
What are some other interesting examples of people using?
Well, our very most popular tool ever is Shakespeare Translator, which you wouldn't really expect. And it's gotten millions of uses and has gone completely viral across high school and elementary school, homework boards, and teachers are recommending it and using it. And it's a very simple tool. It just takes in Shakespearean English and outputs regular old American everyday English. If you go and ask ChatGPT to do this, ChatGPT can do this for you. First of all, in a lot of schools, ChatGPT is banned. And second of all, even if you can have access to ChatGPT as a teacher or as a user, you want to just provide somebody a tool like a hammer for a nail. It's very useful to have a more discrete kind of application. And so we find that's kind of like a microcosm of an example across a lot of our use cases. And so building a standalone tool is a really useful way to kind of convey that,
So let's talk maybe about some of your customers who are using Pickaxe in interesting ways.
One other customer that is really phenomenal and just was so cool, and actually they became an investor, is Patrick Schmidt with FreeWill. FreeWill, they're actually a medium-sized startup. They're doing pretty well. They help people to write wills, and they work with charities to incorporate charities into people's wills. And they wanted to provide a tool that would provide some real value right on their website, so that even if somebody wasn't going to become a customer to them right away, they could actually get something useful out of visiting their website. And they made a series of tools: estate planning, writing letters of condolence, and just things that have to do with death. And their tools get thousands of uses every month. It seems to have been a big success for them in terms of providing value to people quickly on their website. Patrick Schmidt became an investor in Pickaxe as a result of how effective it turned out to be for their business.
Wow. And you've had a couple of these customers turn investors?
Yes, I think now we've had 4 customers turn investors. One of them being Travis Rosser, one of the founders of Kajabi, who used Pickaxe and really thought, wow, there's a lot of potential here. Now he's kind of helping us out in an active way, which we're really happy about.
What were your expectations going into starting? Maybe we'll start this company versus like how it started off.
When I first started this, I had no idea what to expect. One thing that you will experience is that it takes a long time to get that first customer. But once you can get to the point where you get the first customer, getting the next customer is a little bit easier and thereafter. And so I think it was 2 months that we went where we could have had customers and we didn't have any paying customers. And then I remember we got this first paying customer, and it was a real estate agent in Alaska. And I have no idea how this guy, it must have been Reddit, and he paid. And I just, the whole rest of the week, I was like, oh my God, I have $20 on the internet. This is incredible. 20, in fact, I think actually it was $10. At the time, it was just such a magical experience. I had no expectation that anybody would pay. And then immediately I was like, all right, well, how am I going to make a living off of this? We have to figure out how to get this to more people and make this more useful. The realization is that growth is a difficult thing, especially when you haven't exactly found product market fit, but it's something that if you keep pushing at it, you can do. One thing that really helps with growth and has helped us is AppSumo. When we first decided to do the AppSumo launch, we were like, they're talking a big talk over at AppSumo about how many sales this is going to get. We did not believe them at all. We did not expect to be getting, in the first days after launch, I think we were getting like, a sale every single minute for some hours. Like we were just getting sale. And we had to actually change our notifications on our phones because we were like, we can't keep getting these AppSumo sale notifications. There are too many of them. And, that was really great. It's a testament to the product and how much work we've put into it, but it's also a testament to the community that AppSumo has built.
And how much you guys did how much revenue in like just a couple months?
Basically, our understanding is that we did like $350,000 of gross sales in 2 months.
Wow. Part of your decision is like, okay, that's the total. Then you guys get a cut of that.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime deal. Were you like apprehensive of like, should I do this? Is this a good idea, bad idea?
We were super apprehensive. We were like, oh my goodness, we're going to have all these people who are going to be draining our resources and they're getting this deal for life and all this stuff. Coming off of doing $350,000 of gross sales in 2 months, now we're just thinking we can support these people. They're active members of our community. They like the product. Our margins are good enough that it's okay to have some people that aren't paying in a recurring way. And frankly, it's really great to have a cash injection at a time when we're kind of in the midst of our fundraising.
So at first it was just you running this company. When did you decide to bring on co-founders, and like how important of a decision was that?
You just can't do some of this stuff alone. Like you can get way too in your own head. So I immediately wanted to bring in Mike and Ian as co-founders, but I had learned that you can't just do that by saying, hey, you want to co-found this company with me? You have to be like, hey, can you give me a little help with this? Ian saw the way that I had built the first ugly prototype of Pickaxe and was like, you can't release this. As your friend, I cannot allow you to release this. It's kind of like Stone Soup, where people bring what they have and all of a sudden you put it together and it's a great combination. In order to build a product that can be used by people that can't code, design is like a core competency. Without Ian, I probably would have built it like some sort of black thing where it's like, enter your stuff here and you get it here. And the impression it would have on people would be much worse.
Okay, Ian, so in terms of prompt engineering, a lot of people now are trying to write prompts themselves, maybe are getting frustrated. Mm-hmm. What do you think is the biggest thing that they can do today, somebody watching this, to write better prompts?
It's the same advice I would give to just anyone trying to be a better writer, which is like, keep your writing as clear and simple and like devoid of unnecessary words as possible. Cut to the chase and just be really descriptive and detailed, but also like cut away the fluff. It's kind of like a seesaw. Like you gotta be thorough, but you gotta be simple too. It's like, how do you balance that? Basically practice, I guess, which is what I would say.
Maybe one of the ways to practice, I saw one of your most popular GPTs was the reverse prompt engineer.
Yeah, the reverse prompt engineer, the inspiration behind that was actually Midjourney, which is by far my favorite AI tool of anything. It's just like, if you really dive into the UI, is like, it makes the creative act feel like you're like making a stew or something. You know, one cool part about Midjourney is that you can drop any image in, and I don't think everyone knows this, but it has a describe function. So you can actually put an image in and then hit describe, and it'll tease out prompt chunks like out of that image. So that's kind of where the idea came from. I was like, you should just be able to put in a writing sample and then just be able to extract what a prompt would be to create that writing sample. You know, it's pretty good. It's not quite as good as Midjourney's, I don't think, but the idea is cool.
Okay, what are some of these examples?
Yeah, so one of the popular ones that's actually rising like in the last couple of weeks has been this Hinge date helper. You can see it's got like 2,500 uses just in the last week. And it just helps people to, write better messages for dating apps. I think we've got a message coach, and then it looks like there's a Hinge Message Writer Plus where they've done some cool stuff. So we thought this was a great idea. One other example that we like to show, JChat is particularly a tool that is helping you to become a better Jew, and helping you with recipes, helping you with how you should dress.
There's all these different varieties of pickaxes that are being used, and then once some become popular, you could then, the person who created it, gate it, and then charge for them.
Exactly. For some of our tools, you can see what prompts were used to create them. But for others of them, like this one actually seems to be clonable, so we can see this is one of the Hinge Message Writer tools. They've left it clonable for us, so we can see what is going on. Be firm, confident, bold. Your messages will be reviewed by the Chad, the mega alpha, who gets hundreds of dates every day and whom women love. He will read out each of your messages and humiliate you if he thinks they are weak or flimsy or low quality or not Chad enough. And the realization is that saying this type of stuff to the model actually makes the model give you a different kind of quality of results than you would get otherwise. So, but you can always go to our search page and play around. I love to talk about Bundly because I just think it's such a clear example of how you can kind of put everything in one place, and it's literally called Bundly. This is all built on Pickaxe, and this guy, his name is Ian, and he's basically like a marketing coach and a content marketing coach. And each of these tools, and he's got like 30 in here, are helping you with a different aspect of the marketing process, whether you're trying to do a Google ad campaign or you're trying to investigate your sub niches in your audience. And then we can see here that he's charging for this, and actually he's got some paying customers that are paying just for the ability to use these tools.
That's great. Let's talk marketing and growth in some unique ways that you have found to grow your company.
The first way that we ever really found to grow our company was for people to make viral tools, and sometimes that was us. And then those viral tools get out there and they get shared, and Google SEO, they love it when tools are being organically shared and it really looks like people are getting use out of them. Most of our SEO comes from tools that customers have built and backlinks that we get from those. And now with the studio product, our customers can do the same thing with their tools. And we just wrote a blog post about this. They can find a tool that helps their customers with what maybe we'd call like a 5 to 10% use case, where, for example, if you're doing college admissions consulting, maybe it just basically helps you think of ideas for an essay. It doesn't do everything, but it provides a little bit of value. If you put that tool out there embedded on your website or within a studio, you can share it with people, and it can get shared around on the internet, and Google will start to learn, because people are talking about it, hey, this is actually a location where you can go. The example in the blog, our friends run an ed tech company. And a big problem in early education is judging the reading level of different books. And so they built a reading level assessor that will tell you from a snippet of the book what the reading level is. And now it's the third most visited page on their site, and it has really bolstered their SEO. Particularly with Pickaxe, the recommendation would be to find something that's genuinely going to provide some value, and it can help you with blowing up your SEO. Once you see that hundreds or thousands of people are using a tool, you can put more resources into it, make it better. You can integrate it more with your existing consulting. And what we see a lot of our customers do, and one of the great use cases for Pickaxe is they'll make that tool, they'll see it become popular, and then they'll be like, actually, I'd like to start selling access to this. And with Pickaxe, you can really just do that all in one place.
Have there been any particular resources, books, courses, software tools that you guys have used personally that you would recommend for others?
I would say, software tools that we've used that are inspirational as far as prompting are just, obviously you should be using ChatGPT in your day-to-day life. Midjourney, as Ian was talking about, is a huge one. Then there's a lot of tools that we've used to build Pickaxe that we're kind of just still learning about. Clay for doing marketing, and Phantom Buster. We're using Customer.io for our email outreach. And there's a lot of kind of dev tools that, if I can say, Modal is a phenomenal platform, and I'm talking them up in any context, though I don't think that particular tool will be very relevant because it's more of a dev tool.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for inviting us out to the Pickaxe HQ. Love your story. Where can people follow along?
Well, obviously, check out Pickaxe, sign up for Pickaxe. If you sign up, we've got a newsletter that's phenomenal. We've got a great community right on the website that's great. And, going forward in the next month, we have a lot planned.